You've seen the unboxings, maybe you've seen the setup, but today we're diving into what makes the Switch 2 really feel new. What makes the system really feel like the future of Nintendo? Because let me tell you, when you pop it out, you're gonna be like, holy crap, we are here. And I'm so proud to be here with you. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here for the start of the Switch 2 era. It just feels surreal. And one of the best parts of this system is just holding it. But today I'm going to show you things that Nintendo didn't even show us or tell us, and all the reasons why this system is a next-gen system, is a new Switch 2, and things that jumped out to me and surprised me as I've been playing it. So obviously, like, the feel is fantastic, but there's a lot I can show you on the screen, and we're going to boot it up and we're going to go in depth and really dive in. But let me just tell you, the Joy-Con themselves and the system build itself is one of the coolest things that makes this new. You're not going to be able to really understand fully until you grab it for yourself, but I'm telling you, like, the sturdiness, the build quality, the comfortability, the size, the improved sticks, the bigger buttons, the magnetic nature instead of the slide rails, the bigger screen, like, all of it is so nice. It does feel new. It does feel like the future, but there's even more. So let me know in the comments down below what your favorite part of the Switch 2 that's new is, and we're going to dive into a whole bunch of hidden features and things that make this system scream, I am the Switch 2. So if you're looking for another Switch 2 game to play once you get your system, I gotta show love to Yakuza Zero Director's Cut. All right, this is a AAA M-rated game that wasn't possible on the Switch 1, and boom, they're dropping it on launch day, June 5th on Nintendo Switch 2, which is already awesome. But then they put the time and care in to make this thing look and play great. You got that big, beautiful new screen. This is running 60 FPS in handheld mode. It's running 4K in docked mode, which is awesome. It's probably one of the best stories in gaming, and it's the perfect entry point to this amazing franchise. They added all this stuff to make it the definitive edition. It's got 25 plus minutes of new cutscenes. It's got English VO for the whole game. It's got a brand new online co-op multiplayer mode, and it's out for the launch. So make sure to check out Yakuza Zero Director's Cut if you're looking for something great to play on your Switch 2 once you get it. I gotta give a shout out to Sega and RGG Studio for showing me the game and sponsoring this video. Make sure to click the link in the description down below to check it out. Every time you do, it helps support the channel, and you will not regret this game that combines amazing story, awesome combat, and, like I said, those silky smooth visuals and performances on your brand new Nintendo Switch 2. All right, I got a lot of really cool stuff to show you today, some hidden features, and the surprises that make this stand out as a brand new system. Whether you're waiting to pick up your Switch 2, trying to decide if you want to get a Switch 2, or just want to see what makes it a 2, I'm going to go through the stuff that stood out to me and that is hidden under the surface and that hasn't really been explored before. So this is going to be a fun one. The first thing I want to show you is the eShop speed, okay? eShop speed is something that I think everybody wants improved. I'm currently on a mobile hotspot, and it still is really fast loading, okay? So much quicker to get into the eShop and explore around than it was on the Switch 1, and that is huge for me. Now, like I said, I'm not on the best connection right now, and it still is doing a darn good job of just loading video, loading the screenshots, playing the trailer. It's got a great speaker. The screen is gorgeous, as you can see, and this eShop is improved. Is it a complete revamp of the eShop? It is not. But is it something that definitely stands out as notably better and improved? Absolutely. Saquon looking sweet there. And I do just love that we can get in and out of the eShop much quicker. This jumped out to me as like, dude, I want to get into my eShop ASAP. I want to be able to load it up quick. And even though I'm on a mobile connection and it's taking longer to load the images, like we're in the eShop instantly, right? If you're on a better connection, a stronger connection, it will load those pictures even faster. But the most important thing to me is like the eShop is in and accessible right away, right? The pictures take a second to load, but like I said, I'm on a hotspot connection. Let me show you something else cool here. eShop, definitely an improvement. You have the Joy-Con, right? They're very nice, but did you know that you can instantly be in mouse mode on the menus, right? So even if you don't have a mouse mode compatible game, you're waiting for Metroid Prime 4, you're not a Civ 7 fan, or you just want to mess around with the mouse mode, this is a great way to check out one of the new features of the Switch 2. The Joy-Con are mice, and they're very accurate. They feel very good. I can't yet decide if I want to be a left-handed mouse person or right-handed mouse person. I'm left-handed, but obviously like the mouse is always on the right side, so this feels more normal, but this feels better. I'm really curious to check out Metroid Prime. It's fun to navigate the menus this way. It just feels futuristic. It feels like you're doing something different than you are on the Switch 1, which I do definitely appreciate. Obviously, there's games as well, so let's show you that. The best part about the Switch 2, games, right? Games looking, running, being amazing. The load time into the games is reduced, all right? It's not instantaneous, as you can see here, but it's reduced, and then you're right in, all right? There's a bit of a load here to pump Mario Kart World up, to blow it up into its 60 FPS beautiful self, but then we're ready to go. I thought I would just jump into a race real quick so you guys could see exactly what's going on here. We'll throw Baby Luigi into the cart, into the mock rocket actually, and jump into, sure, let's go to DK Pass on 150cc. No 200 in the game. They've talked about potentially adding it as like DLC or in a future update, but this is what we're rolling with right now. And look, like, this is a significant step up from the Switch 1. The visuals are very impressive. Just like people said, what jumps out to me, the detail on the tracks, the detail on the character animation, right? Like the faces, the expressions they're making, the way they look, and the way that this silky, smooth 60 FPS just beautifully runs on the screen here. Handheld mode is a joy. Much bigger screen, bigger Joy-Con, better sticks. It just feels fantastic, and I think you're going to appreciate it so much more when you actually have it in hand. I don't know that YouTube does justice. That's why I'm trying to show like a lot of handheld mode stuff, so it's not just capturing the screen, right? Like it's hard to tell, like, if I direct capture this, is it actually better than it was, or, you know, what's it looking like? But I'm telling you, the detail on the courses, the detail on the characters is all supreme. And honestly, it feels like Mario Kart World is packing a punch in terms of difficulty too. Like, they really want to challenge you early and often in these Grand Prix at 150cc to be the very best that ever was. Now, this is not a Mario Kart gameplay video, so after we do one lap here, somebody's gonna get blue shell. It ain't me. It ain't me. One more item. One more chance to catch up here. Third place, okay. Red shell should put us... Oh, wow, look at that. He's going for a freaking shortcut there. Gotta learn these tracks, but all right. That's Mario Kart. Graphics look amazing. Game looks amazing. I think the level of detail is going to really impress you and surprise you. Let's go to system settings for a second here. I'm going to pop these back on so you can see more of a handheld system. One thing that's cool is they've made some nice additions and quality of life updates to the system settings. Now, we've shown off the display stuff in my setup video that you can deal with HDR and 120 hertz and things of that sort. I want to take you down to the system menu. And if we go down here, we have the ability to stop charging at around 90%. Now, if you ever had any device with an internal battery in the modern era, you know that it's not recommended to charge all the way, that can deplete the overall lifetime of the battery. And so Nintendo now has this way to stop charging around 90% or not. Shortens the amount of time the system can be used while unplugged, but can help reduce loss of battery capacity over time. And if you had a Switch 1, maybe you did feel, like I did, that it started to wear out quicker and that the full charge was not much of a full charge after a while. All right, so that's something small, but something nice. Themes, unfortunately, they have not added anything new there, sadly. Maybe you've heard about the different noises that the controllers can make when you are looking for them. We can search for controllers here. You can change the order. You can search for controllers, and I believe, let's see, yeah, it's going to vibrate. Got that little vibration. I think they also make noises when they're disconnected. Let's check out the GameCube. You might not know, probably know, that the GameCube app is something that's exclusive to Switch 2. It's a Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack service that is only available on Switch 2. This is not something that you can get on the Switch 1, and as you'd expect, the games load instantly, run really great, and you're playing freaking Wind Waker on this beautiful screen, which is very, very nice. It is, of course, the original Wind Waker. This is not the upgraded version. This does not have, you know, the better graphics of Wind Waker HD. But I will say that, given the screen here, like, it looks really fantastic. And if you tire of Mario Kart, or, you know, you don't even have Mario Kart, but you have a Switch 2 online subscription, this is something that you can do right out the gates and is going to be a fantastic game for you to play and for you to explore and for you to enjoy. Getting Zelda day one, like, yes, it's an old Zelda. Maybe you missed it. Maybe you haven't played it. Maybe you want to replay it, but yeah, it's very, very nice. We can suspend this. You can see that starting off, there's F-Zero GX, there's Zelda Wind Waker, and there's Soul Calibur 2. That's what we've got from the start, and they're going to add more games. They showed off some in the initial Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, and I'm sure that they will continue to make regular drops. Hopefully they'll split it up, honor some Switch 2 titles that are only on the Switch 2 for GameCube, and then honor Switch 1 playable titles as well, things like, the Game Boy Advance, things like the N64. The N64 app does have some exclusive features for the Switch 2, a rewind functionality, and it gets a CRT filter. I don't think those are really things that, to me, stand out about Switch 2 and make Switch 2, amazing. It's more like, hey, a nice little addition. It's really the games where you're going to see the most awesomeness for Nintendo Switch 2. And so that brings us to our next thing to explore, which is going to be game parts. I got some here. So I got one that does not have a Switch 2 update and one that does. I'm going to show you what happens with these here, the game slots right up top. If I put in a game that does not have, well, I guess it makes more sense to show you this first. If I put in a game that does have a Switch 2 update like Pokemon Scarlet here, and I go to load it, it's going to tell me that there is an update. And it's going to say, you need to update the software, download the update data now. I actually tried to download the Pokemon Scarlet update for this, but I believe because this is now officially out there, it's got quite a long, well, it's already fast. Okay, this is pretty good. I was going to say, when I checked it earlier, the servers must have been getting overloaded because it was up to an hour and a half wait. Now it's down to 9 minutes, which really isn't that big of a deal. You know what? Let's show you some 60 FPS Pokemon gameplay. I wasn't planning on this, but I can't hold out on you guys. Let's check out some Pokemon Scarlet 60 FPS gameplay. I don't know about you, but I feel like it looks immediately, instantly better. I feel like it is so much crisper, and the frame rate is so freaking nice. This is the beginning of the game, so not a ton going on, but already dude, this is why Switch 1 games are going to shine on Switch 2. A very, very nice way to play a game that was absolutely plagued by performance problems, and here they're fixed. The update for Pokemon Scarlet is live now, it's free, and it gets you 60 FPS Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which almost makes this game flawlessly recommendable. I don't know how you can't recommend it now that the performance is good, but let's close this software out. I do want to see if we plug in a Switch 1 game that does not have a Switch 2 update, how that goes, and then show you something interesting about the loading screen. So we'll put in Smash Bros. Ultimate here. Oh, there is an update for this one, but let's see if we can just start it right away. It's got save data. Let's download that save data, I guess, real fast. It's going to prompt this to you, but you're not connected to the internet, so it's not going to prompt that. It's fine. We'll just go here. You'll notice that in the loading for a Switch 1 game, it has the OG Switch logo. When it's loading a Switch 2 game like Mario Kart World, there's the new Switch 2 logo, so that's kind of how it helps distinguish what exactly is going down and what is going on. But yeah, it loads these games, I think, just about as it did before. I'm not sure that there's any speed increase with the load up. Maybe there is. Maybe I'm just now already biased by the fact that I've got Urbosa, but what I'm saying is I've got, quicker loading, but maybe this is actually quicker to load into than it was in the past. I mean, Mario Kart is definitely quicker to load into, and I'll show you again here. You can see, yeah, see, it's the new Switch 2 logo to alert you that you're playing a Switch 2 game. Now, we got to wait for more games to come out. I got to get more games. Cyberpunk 2077 is definitely one that I want to pick up a cartridge for so I can pop that in. But currently, Mario Kart is a digital copy, and currently, we're waiting on Donkey Kong Bonanza as the next big first-party exclusive. But I think so far, the Switch 2 is fantastic. Now, on the surface, you might be like, Zach, well, this doesn't really look all that much different, but I showed you guys some things that really do set this system apart, and for the most part, it's going to be your in-hands experience. The Joy-Con are so much better. The screen is so freaking big and so nice. This system, compared to this system, you really can't go back. It looks like they're kind of comparable, but they're not. See that? They're not comparable. Once you have the Switch 2, it's like the Switch 1 feels very small, feels very little, and it feels toyish. That's the best way I can describe it, because they've improved the Joy-Con, they've improved the sticks, they've improved the overall feel. Everything about this system is nicer, better, neater, sleeker, and then hopefully you appreciate some of the features, the speed ups, the quicker loads, the 60 FPS on old games, and then the new games, running butterly smooth and looking absolutely awesome. So those are some hidden features of the Switch 2 and some of the things that stood out to me right away, some of the surprises that you're like, wow, this is a fantastic system, and I do think it's a fantastic system. So let me know in the comments down below what you want to see more of as we continue to explore and dive into this new generation. So pumped to share it with all of you. In the meantime, enjoy yourselves out there. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive. Thanks so much for watching. Switch Force out.